happy Saturday. We're back with you here this morning on Fox 29 to talk to some amazing women about their journey and their business. Every Saturday, we're checking in with women in business and female entrepreneurs, and today is no different. But first, please let me welcome my amazing co-hosts, Stitches and Tracy Campoli. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, ladies.
Hello. I was like, Stitches, are you playing peekaboo?
I don't know what that was, but it felt right. I don't know
My
what that
daughter's
was.
a big fan of peekaboo. Let's dive in, ladies. So a lot of people say that success in business is affected by the relationships that you build. So I would ask you, and this is always something I think can be a little tricky for people. When do you think it's an appropriate time to ask someone in your network a favor?
Oh, I love this question.
Go for it, Sus.
I love this question because I see it done very badly in two different ways. The first is a person who never asks for anything and gives everything of themselves. Big mistake. Love yourself. Okay, ask. And secondly, you see people who are big takers and they'll ask too quickly and they'll ask too much. And they'll ask for things that maybe aren't quite appropriate, or it's quite a big ask without even being conscious of it. So asking is important. People do want to help. It has to be mutual to a point, and there has to be the right timing. The way that I like to think about it, if I'm asking for a favor, is I like to give again, and then ask.
Nice.
That way it feels like you've laid a very fair foundation. You've been useful and helpful first, and then whether or not your ask is a yes or a no isn't up to you, and you want to be cool no matter what. But I love to give first, and then pull in my favor when necessary. And anyone who's an author, that's when you pull in your favors. Help me promote my book, as an example.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point that you made. Like, make sure that you're also offering a help and
Yes.
not being the person that's always asking. Like you said, it's okay to ask because you're never going to closed mouths don't get fed, and you're never going to receive help if you don't ask for it. Nobody's a mind reader. We sometimes do that in relationships, but nobody's a mind reader. So it's always good to ask, but we just got to sometimes do a self-check of, are you that person that's always asking and never reciprocating it or never offering a hand? So if you just met somebody and you're already saying, hey, I got a favor. Like, no. Okay. Can I know you? Can I know you first? Can I know you?
Exactly.
But I'm one of those folks where it's like, and ladies, you can tell me if that's good or bad. I don't know. If I have a resource and I'm able to give it, for me, it's not so much a favor. It's just like, if I can, my motto is, if I can, I can. If I can't, I'll tell you straight up, I can't. So it's just like, okay, if I can, cool. If I can't, I'll let you know.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think it's making sure that you, number one, especially for us women, asking for what we need. It's no different than any other relationship, right? We have to ask for what we need. But I do think, Susie, you brought up a really great point about making sure that, number one, that you've given first, but also that it's somewhat mutually beneficial, that it just seems sort of stacked up. And it doesn't have to be like you have the exact same amount of like social media followers as the other person or something like that. There are other ways that can kind of balance out, but I do think that there has to be that sense of balance, and that we also check ourselves. Sometimes it takes a lot of courage to ask someone that maybe you think is a little bit like higher along or farther along in their journey, but it is a good practice, and keeping that relaxed attachment to it. So we are just getting warmed up. Our first guest, Christina Denali, is sharing with us about her journey from corporate to entrepreneurship. She's coming up next.
Marketing for local businesses is critical, but it can be pretty confusing. At Vivial, we work with you to understand your business and individual marketing needs to tailor a custom-designed solution so you can focus on what you do best, running your business.
Want to learn more about Vivial's digital marketing services? Find us online at vivial.net/Natalie.
Welcome back. It's Saturday and we're excited to have Christina Denali here with us today. Welcome to the show, Christina.
Christina.
Thrilled to have you with us. Thanks for being here.
Pleasure to be here. Super excited. Love you ladies so much.
Thank you, Christina. So, Christina, you're a business coach, right? And you've worked with a few different businesses, and you started off in corporate America, correct?
Correct.
So, tell us more about that journey, if you can.
Sure, I'll give you the short version. So I am what's known as a serial entrepreneur, which means I've owned several businesses before I started my coaching business. So I found out probably in high school, college that I was different and unique and that I was truly an entrepreneurial spirit. So you kind of just know that about yourself. It's like in your DNA. And I actually started my first business at 24 years old, a brick and mortar women's clothing boutique outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And so to fund businesses, you have to have money. And I, wanted to work and have a career as well for stability and security mainly. And so I did work simultaneously as I became an entrepreneur. And so long story short, my last corporate position, I was an executive director at a digital marketing agency here in South Florida. And I was there about 5 years. And so very successful on paper, had the cushy title, great team under me, worked with some brilliant people, made 6 figures, but I wasn't happy and I wasn't fulfilled.
It sounded like you were first your own coach. That's what it sounded like. And Christina, you hit something really important over being overwhelmed. And you recognize that a lot of women that you were working with that you've seen have been overwhelmed. And you came up with, I think it's called the power of 3 approach.
Yes.
So tell us more about that, please.
Thank you for asking. Yeah. So again, what makes you unique and what's going to be your proprietary method? How do you stand out in the saturated market of coaches? So what I noticed, and ladies, I do want to fast forward, after the first high ticket coach that I invested in, I actually went on to invest in 3 additional coaches. So I'm highly invested now, about 25K all in with these 4 different coaching programs. And the reason why I wanted to do that is, one, I wanted to become a first class stellar coach myself. I wanted to give my clients the best of the best program. I also wanted to learn what I liked and what I didn't like about all coaching, delivery systems, programs, digital courses versus coaching calls, group coaching versus one-to-one coaching. So I wanted to learn it all. And then I was going to pull the cherries out of everything I learned, make it my own, and make it simple. One thing I noticed in all these different programs, I'm in these Facebook groups with hundreds of women, and they're crying out, asking questions, tech overwhelm. I'm stuck on this. I don't know how to do that. I can't sync or integrate this. I can't set up my funnel. And you're just like feeling really bad because I'm in the same program they're in, but I'm quickly identifying that overwhelm is the main sentiment, right? So not only did I take that away, but then I also realized the content and the material, the curriculum is way over most women's head. I got it because I'm savvy and I came from digital marketing. That's not the average woman, right? So their learning curve on putting together a ClickFunnels, they're like, what is this? I don't even know how to start, let alone set it up and then integrate it into my MailChimp account. So the point is, overwhelm was number 1 is the problem. And then the curriculum being too, I think, high level, too sophisticated for most women. Okay. So I then took all the content and I have literally 20, 30 notepads of my personal notes through all these different programs, webinars. I've spent probably over 50 hours on webinars. I'm highly, highly studied. And what I did is I converted all that content into mini micro trainings with 3 steps. Okay.
Right.
So for example, just to make it more digestible, like I always lead with everything I do with my clients goes back to 3 desired results: freedom, flexibility, and security. So no matter what you really want, I want to get my kid through college. I want to get married next year in Europe. I want to save so my husband can retire. Whatever our why is, it leads back to one of those 3 buckets, right? So that's how I lead. Everything we're doing is going back to those 3 things. And then for another example, I teach the 1 funnel, which is ads to webinar to schedule call. That's 3 steps that can get you high ticket clients. 1 client to pay you $5,000 or $8,000. So if you need to replace your income of 10K, that could be 2 clients at $5,000. Would you rather sell to 2 people or would you rather sell to 100 people at $50, right? So these are the methods I teach to make it digestible so the woman not only can retain it and understand it, but can apply it. That's most important, right? And that is really important to me, to be able to see my clients execute and build that muscle of confidence that they're seeing results in a short period of time. So that's my power of 3. It's just the delivery of how I teach.
Thank you so much, Christina. We have so many more amazing conversations coming up, so don't change the channel. We'll be right back after the break.
Welcome to Crush It with Christy. I am talking all about stripping away your titles and being the woman that you are. My name is Christy Primer, and I'm president of Primetime Consulting Services Incorporated. And my company provides services and products that empower, educate, and entertain women to step into more of who they are. As I wrote in my latest book, Confessions of a Self-Care Junkie, we as women tend to identify with the titles that we wear. And what I want to do is encourage you today to think of 3 things, 3 words that represent you as the woman that you are. Not mom, not wifey, not lady boss or manager or whatever it might be, but 3 words that you can use to describe yourself. That is how you crush it in life and business, by being true to who you are.
Welcome back, South Florida. Our next guest is helping others reconnect with their higher selves. Oh yes. Welcome to the show, Adaobi Mozie of Cosmic Kitchen. Hi, Adaobi. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi,
Thank you so much for
Adaobi.
having me. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. So we'll get straight into it if that's okay. Adaobi, so you are is this correct? A Reiki master, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
That's correct.
And also a doula and owner of Cosmic Kitchen. So how did you start your journey? Number 1, if you can answer that for us, and the journey into food and wellness. Talk to us about that.
Well, my journey started as an artist. I went to the Savannah College of Art and Design, and I pursued a degree in film and television. And while I was always kind of like a creative kid, always making things. But while I was in school, I kind of really, really learned the fundamentals of creating in general. And through like the skills that I learned in school, I was able to just apply that into, all of my creative ideas and ventures that I would eventually pursue. I moved out to LA about 5 years ago, and I started painting. I was doing lots of large scale pieces for amazing clients, and I kind of stumbled into the health and wellness space just through a lot of my friends and the community that I was starting to build in LA. I became doula trained as with another friend of mine in LA, and at that time I had opened up Cosmic Kitchen as kind of, it started off as me kind of just going on my own personal health journey, kind of trying to find some answers to some personal ailments that I was going through, and just wanting to have more energy, just wanting to feel more in control. And I documented that journey and got a lot of amazing responses. And it eventually kickstarted into cooking for other people.
We love this so much. You're speaking our language. So tell us a little bit more about what people can buy and what you sell inside your Cosmic Kitchen shop.
Okay, well, currently one of my main sellers is sea moss gel, and it is kind of growing in popularity, which is awesome. But it's just an amazing sea mineral that you can take, and it's pretty tasteless, and it's packed with minerals, and so it's really great for boosting immunity and energy, and working on your appetite, and just a whole list of benefits for your skin and your hair. And I have a lot of repeat clients and a lot of people who really, really like swear by sea moss, so I'm happy to provide that. I also
So I've never even heard of it. That's amazing.
Yeah. So what's it called exactly, Adobe? I want to make sure we heard it correctly.
Yeah, it's called sea moss gel. So
And you
Sea
swallow
moss
it, so
gel.
it's tablets.
no, it's actually like it comes in my product comes in a pouch and you squeeze it out, but it's a gel like consistency, like kind of like jelly without the chunks, you know?
Mhm.
And it's pretty tasteless, but my favorite way to incorporate it into my diet is with smoothies, because
Okay.
it adds like it adds like a creamier texture and consistency to
Ooh.
your smoothies, kind of like what a banana does, but without the flavor. So and it's just a great way to just like quickly boost your energy, and
Yeah.
it's not like a pill that you have to swallow or
Right.
something, or like a powder that doesn't really taste right or anything. It's very, very seamless the way you can just add it into your soups, your salad dressings, your smoothies, and it's
Mhm.
so good for you.
I'm like,
So what
adds to
about
cart. Adds to
right,
cart.
Adobe, what's next for you and where can people find you?
Well, what's next for me with Cosmic Kitchen? We're definitely expanding online, and I want to continue to just make the most wholesome, the most pure, the most effective products that I can. So I'm constantly updating my website with more products. And we're also working on more things for self-care warfare. I'm actually putting together an online workshop, and interested to see how that goes. And yeah, we're just going to continue to I'm going to continue to work with our clients in LA and continue to expand the online business and just share knowledge and information and continue to be that bridge for people. And you
Well, it
can
is
find me
needed.
at, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Where can we
Oh,
find you, please?
you can find me on my website, www.cosmickitchen.com, and also on Instagram at Cosmic Kitchen.
And it's kitchen, Kichin. Different spelling.
Yes, Kichin. I'm Nigerian, and I kind of just wanted to put a little ode to my little African ancestry, and so I spelled it a little bit differently. But yeah,
I love that. It's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. So we are absolutely loving this conversation today, and we hope you feel the same. So stick with us. We'll be right back after the break.
You are at the table with Tommy Vincent, where there is always a seat reserved with your name on it. Hopefully, you spent last week submerging yourself in last week's affirmation, I will love all of me. This week's affirmation from the You Will, and that's YOUWILL, is I will be patient with me. Yes, patience is essential to becoming your most authentic self. If we're not careful, the words that we speak over our lives, they will have a negative impact on our growth and development. So tune into your words. That is your heart work for this week. I want you to be present in the moment, be patient with yourself, and listen to what you're saying to yourself. Is it negative or is it positive? On the very first episode of Stay a While podcast, my husband, Troy Vincent, and I took a seat at the table, and we talked about through the fire, exhibiting faith through every season. This was my story, y'all. I was not patient with who I was and who I was becoming. And so there was a lot of negative stinking thinking. And so I was able to transform those words around and change them into positive thinking. And it allowed for me to become the woman that I am today. So please do your heart work. Tune into your words so that you are patient with you. Remember, I will be patient with me. That is your heart work for this week. And make sure you're tuning into our lives on Instagram on page at Stay a While Show, so that you can continue to receive this soul food so that it nourishes you and continues to help you to grow. And tune into the Stay a While podcast.
you may recognize the voice of our next guest. She is a radio personality, mindset coach, and entrepreneur. Oh, yes, South Florida. Gigi Diaz is in the building. Welcome to the
Hello, Queens. I am so excited to see you. Susie's been a fan for so long. I've actually taken some of your courses. Stitches is my radio sister. And Tracy, you're amazing. I've been sitting back here watching all the other interviews. I'm like taking notes. You guys, oh my gosh, the queendom in here is amazing. I love it.
Love it.
Yes.
Gigi, you're fabulous. You know I love you for free. I don't need a penny from you. I just love you for being you. From radio to owning your own business, you are entrepreneur. Lady, she has her own dance academy, and she does so much on and off the camera as an entrepreneur and as just an amazing woman, seizing happy. We'll get to that later on. But can you just share with us, Gigi, just your journey?
Oh my goodness. I have to give you like the very short, tiny version of that. The tiny version, right?
Journey in business. We'll specify your journey.
Even that one, I got to abbreviate a little bit. So I opened my first business right out of high school. So when I was 17 years old, I graduated early, and I come from a really powerful family of immigrants, right, who decided to leave everything behind and say, we're going to build a new life in a new place. And when we came here, my mom and dad were both like, listen, we brought you here to build an incredible future and to just be the greatest version of you. And that is the only option you have. Like, failure was not an option unless it was to fail forward. And so while I was going to high school, I always knew that I wanted a career in broadcast, or like after maybe like 15 or 16 years old, I was like, broadcast, journalism, print, interviews, people talking. I can't shut up even if you like shut my mouth with tape, right? And so I knew that that's what I needed to do. And in that process, I also knew, even though I had a scholarship for college, that there was like extra money that I was going to have to put out for books, to eat, to have a car, to get back and forth. And so what came to my mind was, I've been dancing since I was 4 years old. This is the only thing I know how to do that isn't going to really kill me. Most of my friends were much older than me. So since I graduated a year young at 17, a lot of my friends were working, you know, like at McDonald's or waitressing or at what's the store called? Circuit City. I'm totally dating myself. This is like long before Best Buy was even a thing. But I was like, man, that's really hard work, right? And I'm not one of those people that studying just like melts into their brain. Like, I need to sit down with my books and highlighters and color code things. Like, I need time to learn, right? And so I was like, I got to do something that's easy for me. I'll open a dance studio. So I opened my dance studio at 17. I had to have my mom help me sign papers. And she was like, I'm just going to tell you what, you're not syncing me with this. You better figure out what you're doing. And little did I know she was just doing that to like make sure that I really meant what I was getting into. Nice. And I did. And my dance studio is still open today. We're ranked top 3 dance studios in our city.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
You've also got a podcast. So let's talk about that and make sure that we get into that. So it's called Chats with Gigi. So what are some of the things that we would hear, or what are some of the things that you bring that we don't hear on the radio show? What's different?
Okay, so the biggest difference in the podcast, it's that it's long form. So Stitches, sis, you know, when we're in radio, it's real quick, right? It's like bam, bam, bam. But when I get into the podcast, I get to really dive deep with these incredible women entrepreneurs. And so the podcast has actually evolved in different ways. It started with highlighting celebrities, which are amazing and so much fun. And I had a bunch of really amazing people on there. And then I realized, I'm like, but there are so many entrepreneurs, women that aren't in that view, right? Yet, that don't have that spotlight yet, that are incredible, that are achieving wonderful things, that are truly having an impact in the community. And so I figured I want to give them that spotlight on my platform, on iHeartRadio and all the things, so that they could really reach the masses, right, that they deserve to reach. And so in my podcast, Chats with Gigi, we highlight women entrepreneurs who have a story to share that is going to be empowering and motivating to the women that they want to help change their lives, and actionable tools and tips to shift their life and business into a more positive, joyful, and abundant path. Because it's cool to get inspired, but inspiration ain't all of it. You gotta have action tips, and then you have to take the action. So that's what we like to have on the podcast.
I want to be on your podcast, Gigi.
Please be on my podcast. Are you crazy? I'll cancel everything tomorrow and I'll put you on my podcast.
Oh my gosh, Gigi, thank you so much for bringing the magic today. What a great guest. And we've got so many great nuggets here. Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you guys so much for having me. I am honored to be surrounded by so many amazing queens today. So thank you. And you can find me at Gigi Diaz Live on Instagram or on my website, gigidiaz.com.
Gigi Diaz Live and gigidiaz.com. Thank you, Gigi.
I will point out that product placement though. Go ahead and sip.
Girl, this is soup. This isn't even coffee. This is straight up oxtail soup. I'm not even playing. I made this morning.
All right. Let's end with the oxtail. We'll be right back after the break.
Stop Checking Your Likes is the hottest must-read of the moment. This is not a book about social media. It's about shaking off that need for approval and living your incredible life. It's available everywhere books are sold.
From wellness to business coaching to checking in with Chef Tommy, it has been another amazing show on this gorgeous Saturday morning. Am I right, ladies?
Yeah.
So good. Content rich.
And ladies, I don't know if you know this is actually our 10th episode.
Hundreds more, thousands more.
Thousands more.
Keep it going, keep it going.
But I have a quick question before we depart. One thing that you have learned during the show that you will take with you and maybe apply within your business.
Oh, I think about this at the end of every show. Today was so juicy. I have to say, I love how Adaobi was just so focused on what it is that she cares about and being driven by her purpose. And then, listening to Gigi talk about doing many, many things at once and being passionate and alive and awake. I mean, I can't even choose one. Tracy, how about you?
Same. I feel exactly the same. It was so juicy here. And I think that, the overwhelming message of, who we are being inside of our business really matters. If we don't have our health and our sanity, nothing really matters. All the success doesn't matter. What about you, Stitches?
Agreed. Kind of in the same line, even from Ananda to realizing what's important. And sometimes we have to pivot, like Raquel mentioned, like honing in on what it is that what you were called to do. And even with Christina, just talking about bringing that out and applying it and just rocking it. And just, I think first you got to be your own coach at a certain point and just say, go girl. What does she say? Go girl. And like,
that's right.
Well, like just doing it and doing it
easy.
Oh, yes. That is right. So if you are enjoying all of this girl boss magic, and you are, catch all of our past episodes on our YouTube channel. You can binge watch them sort of Netflix style at Natalie's Network.
And don't forget to join our membership or register today at theconnectonline.com. So much love and bye-bye for now.
Live you for free.